Tomorrow will mark exactly 1 year since Singapore's first riot in more than 40 years erupted in Little India. Fueled by drink and a perceived sense of injustice, hundreds of foreign workers went on a rampage in a showdown with anti-riot security forces. Since then, measures have been put in place to make the area safer. Vamita Mohandas turns the spotlight on what has changed.
Martin Pereira, who has been living in Little India for the past 12 years, now enjoys most of his evenings visiting newly opened food and beverage outlets in Little India. But this wasn't his routine about a year ago, as the area was dominated by mostly liquor shops. Martin recalled his outrage and disbelief when he witnessed the riot on his way to work. But 1 year on, Martin, like many other residents, are thankful for the stricter measures that have been put in place, which has spruced up the image of Little India.
The residents feel safer, and Little India is a little bit more orderly now, after that has been instituted, in conjunction with the liquor ban as well. And right now we do have swanky establishments like this one we're sitting in, and we hope that more will come, so that Little India will become more family friendly and will not be only known as a place where foreign workers gather, but where families can come down and hang out and have a good time.
On December 8 last year, a fatal accident claimed the life of 33-year-old Saktivil Kumaravelu, a foreign worker who was intoxicated. Now, this traffic accident sparked off a riot, the worst Singapore had seen in more than 40 years. Now, this stretch along Racecourse Road bore the brunt of it, with more than 50 responding officers injured and over 20 emergency vehicles damaged. Measures were swiftly put in place to keep the situation under control. In particular, restrictions to the sale and consumption of alcohol. The Public Order Additional Temporary Measures Act, which will last till the end of next March, provides for a limited and focused set of powers to support the security, traffic management and alcohol restriction measures in Little India. Alcohol consumption in public places is prohibited during weekends from 6 a.m. on Saturday to 6 a.m. on Monday. The ban also applies from 6 a.m. on the eve of public holidays to 6 a.m. on the day after the holiday. So far, some 300 people have been caught flouting the law, while 4 outlets were found breaching the liquor license. These restrictions posed a challenge for some businesses, and more than 20 shops had to close down.
Saturday Sunday main 12 o'clock கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா so business நல்லா இருக்கும், எல்லாரும் ஹாப்பியா இருப்பாங்க. ஏன்னா இதை வச்சு பாஸ் வந்துட்டு ஒர்க்கர் கொடுக்குற சேலரியிலேருந்து அவங்க அன்ஹாப்பியாக வந்து முன்னாடி கொடுத்த சேலரி வந்து கொடுக்குறது இல்லை, அது மாதிரி அதுவும் இருக்குது. ஸோ அவங்க சைட் பார்க்கல லாஸு, ஸோ ஒர்க்கர் வந்து பாதிக்கப்படுறாங்க. ஸோ அதனால் சாட்டர்டே சண்டே திரும்ப வந்துட்டு 12 o'clock கொடுக்குற மாதிரி செய்யலாம். ஏன்னா அதுக்கப்புறம் எந்த வயலன்ஸும் நடக்கலை. ஸோ போலீஸ் ஃபோர்ஸ் கால் பண்ணால் வர்றாங்க, இதெல்லாம் பண்ணுறாங்க.
Although many foreign workers are still staying away, more locals have been visiting Little India. And many residents also want these measures to stay as the area seems safer and more orderly.
Compared to last time, it's much better. I mean, after the riots, right, mostly they all drink downstairs, sleep downstairs. So I think all this now okay already. There's no more any problem.
As an image, I would say Little India image is far better now. Okay, as I told you, the number of locals coming in during the weekends are better. And I think in terms of liquor consumptions, I think it has been drastically reduced. When you look at business, all the numbers are almost getting back, but then the business is still affected. It's just not only for the liquor related businesses, but also for all other businesses which relates to the foreign workers, which includes the provision shops, okay, which includes the eateries, okay, which includes all the even hairdressing saloon and even a 4D shop.
Business keep doing, we are doing good only at the moment. The restaurants, we are having the license, they can sell. Only thing when outside they have the restriction. No, it is fairly, we can say really a bit of improvement only compared to last year, only exactly the December month.
But for some of these foreign workers, hanging out at their usual haunt on Sundays isn't as exciting anymore.
இப்போ வந்து பெரும்பாலும் வந்து அதிகம் கூட்டம் இல்லை கடைக்கு வரவங்கலாம் கேட்குறாங்க, குடிக்கலாமா தண்ணி சாப்பிடலாமா கேட்குறாங்க. சிலவங்க சொல்கிறாங்க குடிக்கலாம், சில குடிக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. இல்லை தேக்க மரங்கள் சாப்பிடலாம், எங்கே சாப்பிடக்கூடாது அதையும் கேட்குறாங்க பாருங்கள். அதுக்கு நாங்கள் பதில் சொல்ல முடியல. எங்கெல்லாம் சாப்பிடலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. நம்மளும் கவர்மெண்ட் அந்த ரூல்ஸ் போட்டுருக்காங்களா, அந்த பயந்துட்டு எல்லாம் குடிக்க மாட்டாங்க. இங்கே வந்துட்டு யாருமே எல்லாம் கிளம்பி போயிடறாங்க. 9 மணி 8 மணி க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. 8 மணி நாங்கள் எப்படி சாப்பிட முடியும்? நாங்கள் வந்து 7 மணிக்கு வேலை முடியுது. நாங்கள் 9 மணி அது தேக்க வரதுக்கு.
But one expert says these measures are necessary.
I think if you want to restore confidence in law and order, it's probably inevitable that your initial reaction be seen as a little draconian, and I guess you have to because you need to stabilize the whole environment and situation.
Measures were put in place swiftly in Little India after the riot to deal with the various challenges in the area. These included steps to enhance the management of foreign worker congregation areas. Following the riot, a committee held a public inquiry earlier this year, and in its report it recommended that police capabilities be enhanced, increasing the response time of Special Operations Command by adding 300 officers. Other measures included trebling the number of cameras and improving traffic management in the area. Lighting has been enhanced at 42 sites and 43 cameras have also been installed. The riot also put traffic conditions in Little India under the spotlight. So to help ease congestion, the Land Transport Authority will be installing 2 new pedestrian crossings in this area. One of it will be located between Campbell Lane and Buffalo Road, where there are usually a lot of people jaywalking, the main reason why there's congestion in this area. The other pedestrian crossing will be located between Babu Lane and Racecourse Lane. Now most of the installation works have already been done, so the traffic lights will start functioning by the end of this year. And to ferry foreign workers to and from their dormitories, there are 200 buses operating dedicated services on Sundays. But these bus drivers no longer park their vehicles along Hampshire Road and Taker Lane. A stretch of Hampshire Road is closed from 2 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on Sundays. And barriers are set up along one lane of Hampshire Road to create a proper queuing area for foreign workers taking the buses back to their dormitories. There is also a sheltered waiting area with enhanced lighting and ventilation facilities. It has almost been a year since the Little India riot, and there are many lessons to be learned. Singapore will be enforcing new liquor laws next year across the island, and some of the measures under consideration include restricting the public consumption of alcohol as well as the hours of its retail sales. The Home Affairs Ministry will consider feedback from industry and the public, as well as take into account the experience from the Little India riot and the alcohol restrictions imposed after the riot.